Clash of the Champions 5 from Cleveland, Ohio, the Convention Center. Jim Ross and Magnum TA on commentary. Despite I started as a fan in 1986 and didn't have cable till 1990, I see Clash 1 through 4 on VHS. But somehow I missed, heck, I never even heard of Clash 5. It's been historically said Clash 6, held in the New Orleans Superdome, was not advertised enough in New Orleans to gather a crowd larger than 5,000. Clash of the Champions 5 drew 5,000 in attendance in Cleveland. But with the exception of being named after a president, 5 pro sports teams, I don't consider it much of a major city, besides being mentioned in the Kurt Russell film Escape from L.A. One other thing I found disturbing in the Cleveland Convention Center was almost a quarter of ringside audience was made up of teens and men in business suits. Okay, let's review Clash of the Champions 5, a St. Valentine's Massacre. Alright, first match of the night here at Clash of the Champions 5 here in Cleveland is Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express, Bob Eaton Stanley, against Paul Jones and his Russian Assassins. Now, I have been slamming and attacking these masked Russian Assassins for several reviews. You know, if they would be much more, Jim Ross has been putting them over how big they are, over 300 pounds each. If they had maybe been more muscular, maybe look like the Road Warriors with masks, I think the Russian Assassins would have gotten over a lot better if they were masked version of the Road Warriors, more muscular. Now, one complaint about even the announcers and even Paulie Dangerously had to do some. He got into do some commentating that they said Jim Cornette miscalculating booking a match 5 days before the Chi-Town Rumble. And this is on this clash takes place on Valentine's Day, February 14th, and said 5 days from Chi-Town Rumble. That he's risking a tag team match when they've got a vital match coming up where one out of a 6-man tag, one man loses, they're out of the NWA. But here's the odd thing is seeing, it's never before where now Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express are now babyfaces, good guys, and Paul Jones has always remained the heel. Word. Who? You had a question: who was a far more heel manager, Jim Cornette or Paul Jones? I think Jim Cornette used to be the biggest heel manager of all time. You question whether who was the better manager, Jim Cornette, Paul Jones, or James J. Dillon, the Horseman? No, I want to involve James J. Dillon, the Horseman, because his match doesn't involve the Horseman. It's just strange how Cornette, with Paulie Dangerously's original Midnight Express, his group comes in suddenly, attacks Cornette, in a TV taping, and makes Cornette the immediate babyface. It's amazing how, I've said it before, it's amazing how heel wrestlers or managers, whatnot, can turn to babyface so fast, can get the fan approval so fast. That's truly amazing. Now, this particular match, again, I've always been attacking Russian Assassins because I've always called them a so-so tag team. I was thinking that when Ted Turner bought out Jim Crockett Promotions and then brought in this one of the worst managers in the history of the business, Jim Herd, to run the company, and all of a sudden it's historically known he put. I've yet to even one day I'll have to watch these guys. He put some two guys together and they called them ding dongs. I don't want to insult two. I don't call them legendary wrestlers. Who were the Russian Assassins under masks? Angel of Death and Jack Victory. Maybe they should have changed the wrestlers under masks. Shouldn't be Jack Victory and Angel of Death. They should be changing them so fast. How many times did other tag teams under masks or wrestlers under masks or anybody in makeup have changed? How many people played Doink the Clown in WWF? So that's what I would disturb with this Russian Assassin tag team. Paul Jones had a long time army with his feud with Jimmy Valiant, and now going on 1988 into in 1989, he has his tag team Russian Assassins. I swear to God, I'm gonna compare them to the Ding Dongs. I haven't even watched the Ding Dong tag team that Jim Herd put together. Now that might be insulting to the Russian Assassins. These two guys under masks. I just can't favor these Russian Assassins at all. Maybe it's one of man, nowhere compared to when Paul Jones put together Rick Rude and Manny Fernandez as a tag team. And they were immediate World Tag Team Champions. They were good. They were a great tag team combination. Well, I was never a fan of Rick Rude. But enough of me slamming Paul Jones' Russian Assassins, which I've always done before. Against Jim Cornette's, Bobby Eaton, and Stan Lane, his Midnight Express. Interesting opening for a Clash of Champions. But it's much more. I was reading when I was reading about this Clash of Champions 5 result, and for the these Clash shows are to be the best of the best on live television. It was an okay match, but it was Paul. It was definitely without a doubt Paul Jones and Jim Cornette nearly going face to face with each other. Cornette using his tennis racket, and at least Jim Ross would put Paul Jones as he was a good wrestler in his day. I was gonna get a kick out of Jim Cornette doing his Jackie Fargo strut, which many wrestlers have copied. well, Cornette originally came out of Memphis. But seeing Paul Jones and Cornette nearly go at it, and then Paulie dangerously getting on Mike, and he's getting on a video promo about the Chi-Town Rumble coming up, that made the match more interesting, without a doubt. The match is ending, and in any match, especially and in any review I've done, the match ending is supposed to be the climax of what the heck how this the conclusion. Well, unfortunately, there's no conclusion. There's not even a contest. Now, according to Wikipedia results, the Midnight Express defeated the Russian Assassins in about 13 minutes. The problem is TBS decides, okay, Paulie Dangerously's on the mic, putting, telling, Cornette, this Monday night you're out of the NWA. I'm leaving because Stan Lane had been in the ring a while. He finally tagged out to Bobby, and Paulie Dangerous says, "Oh, I'm done watching. I'm done color commentating. I'm done watching this match." He's leaving the table that Magnum TA and Jim Ross are commentating. Paulie Dangerously leaves. So then all of a sudden they put up a video image of an image of coming the Clash of the coming Monday night is the Chi-Town Rumble. Next, they have a video of Bob Caudle talking to a live video of Ricky Steamboat holding his son Richie Steamboat Jr., which he's going to bring to the Chi-Town Rumble against Ric Flair, him and his wife. But the match is never returned to. The Clash of Champions 5 on TBS does not return to the Midnight Express versus the Russian Assassins. I think you hear the match continue, but they do not show an ending result, pinfall, whatnot. What the heck happened, TBS? you're putting over Chi-Town Rumble. You're putting over Paulie Dangerously promoting it. Then you put the live video goes to an interview with Ricky Steamboat and his kid. What happened to the match of the Midnight Express versus the Russian Assassins? So you had to look up on the internet results. And I was using Wikipedia. The Midnight Express defeated the Russian Assassins in a 13-minute match without who pinned who. That was a really weird. That's a weird way to end the match. Next match of the night is Butch Reed versus Stephen Casey. Now, noticeably that they didn't call him Hacksaw Butch Reed. One thing that Jim Ross and Magnum TA kept referring to Butch Reed is kind of a veteran. And he's more as much as both guys are built for this match for professional wrestling. Butch Reed is would I say he's more muscular build than Stephen Casey? Maybe more experienced. I'd have to look. I didn't look up the history of how, when Butch Reed debuted, but I would honestly say, experience wise, Butch Reed is much better of a much better a wrestler than Stephen Casey. Stephen Casey is what they call journeyman. He's been in several territories. I remember reading about him, and he worked a lot in the world class, the Von Arch, Texas area, um, and he not calling him not disrespecting him, calling him a job or talent enhancement. I wouldn't call him that, but he's the one. No, he's a very long workout wrestler with the hire the top stars work with. That's where that maybe Stephen Casey is best well known for. This match went about 17 minutes, and he, instead of a 5-10 minute match, he's much more definitely more. Stephen Casey's much more well built, muscular wise, and as much as he should have been a match for Butch Reed, experience wise, probably not. And Butch Reed was definitely, as long as this match seemed to be, it was shorter than 17 minutes, and Butch Reed really muscular, and he did a lot of reverse chin locks, a lot of them. Really held down Stephen Casey from making much comeback. Stephen Casey had a very interesting drop kick. I saw the way he turned himself as he did the drop kick. I found it very interesting in him. But Butch Reed eventually he came a shoulder. He did a shoulder flying shoulder tackle sort of thing off the top rope. Very interesting. But he went on to pin Stephen Casey, and he treated Stephen Casey like a jobber. He did. He put his knee on his chest and flexed his muscles and got the pin. For a 17-minute match, it seemed much shorter. But Stephen Casey is, I think, more well known for giving the top stars, as much as the other jobbers, the talent enhancement guys. They go for maybe 5-10 minute matches. Stephen Casey is, he's worked with the top stars, but he does a lot longer matches, 15-20 minute matches. But Butch Reed defeated Stephen Casey here in this 17-minute match with a off the top rope kind of a flying shoulder tackle sort of. Next match of the night, Lex Luger, the Total Package versus the Blackmailer. It's Jack Victory under a mask, but the Blackmailer. Why didn't they just have Lex Luger versus Jack Victory? This name, the Blackmailer, you swear it's a Jim Hurt idea, like the Ding Dongs. I mean, oh man, this was just Oh, I'm gonna be talking about what I think of the entire show. I mean, with a couple good half the show is good matches, half the I have to tell the truth now. Half the show is going to be good matches. Half the show are called warm-up matches because with a few days there's Chi-Town Rumble, the next pay-per-view. I mean, some of these matches shouldn't be going on this long, but the outfit, this Blackmailer outfit, he could have come up with a better name, but the outfit was not bad. It's an interesting looking outfit, but Lex Luger ends the match. They said that he ends the match with United States Champion Barry Windham's coup de grace, his finishing move with a superplex. Well, I thought Barry Windham's finishing move was the black glove hand, the claw. Now Barry Windham has used superplex in his career when he was in a babyface. Yeah, I've always loved the superplex. But Lex Luger, they said Lex Luger is using Barry Windham's finishing move, the superplex, and pins the Blackmailer. It was more of a power hap. It's just showing off. This show is practically a TBS studio taping rather than being in Cleveland, Ohio. Of half of the great matches, half of them just jobber matches. I hate to say that, but it's just Blackmailer. You swear it's a Jim Herd mask idea. But Lex Luger beats the Blackmailer with a superplex. Next match of the night is sort of a rematch, but I just didn't realize who were the United States Tag Team Champions were. Varsity Club members Steve Dr. F. Williams and Mike Rotundo, managed by Kevin Sullivan, versus the Fantastics. And it's sort of a rematch from Starrcade 88. However, it was Steve Williams and Kevin Sullivan, the manager, that tag team to defeat the Fantastics to win the United States Tag Team titles. Okay. I've never said this in review before. I have never been a fan of the what's called the Freebird rule, Fabulous Freebirds, where 3-person tag team can, if they win a 2-person title, either of the 3 can defend the titles. I have never been a fan of that whatsoever. The Russians did it. The Freebirds invented it. Now it's the Varsity Club. Kevin Sullivan and Steve Williams defeated the Fantastics. It should have been Sullivan and Williams defending the titles. No, this time it was Steve Williams and Mike Rotundo. Now, I don't know if any old school wrestling fans would argue that with me. I have never been a fan of the 3-person rule that if they win a 2-person title, it should be the two particular wrestlers that won the title match should be the defending champions. And so I just realized that I'm seeing, okay, United States Tag Team Champions, Steve Williams, Mike Rotundo, but it was Kevin Sullivan that won it for them. And Starrcade 88, no, it was part of the team. But anyway, it was a good, very fast-paced tag team wrestling match. Jim Ross kept repeating throughout the whole show. He's repeating, "We're the NWA. We wrestle." That is definitely a competitive attack with the WWF. I fully agree with that, despite the fact Jim Herd's in charge. But it was a great match, a great tag team match. It's probably one of probably so far the best match of the night. But yeah, it was great, fast-paced, and one amazing moment I saw, I've never seen it done before. Steve Dr. Williams he has a running body slam called the Oklahoma Stampede. He had Bobby Fulton up, and Bobby Fulton countered the move by grabbing the top ropes with both hands, and it knocked down Steve Williams into a lateral press pin attempt. I've never seen anyone attempt to block the Oklahoma Stampede, running Stampede. That's a first for me. I've never seen it done. That was an interesting way of doing it. Grab the top rope, and prevent him from running. Okay. Also, something very, very unusual, especially with the ending of the match, is Kevin Sullivan, their manager, and they're a heel team. He's a heel, devilish, sadistic. He never interfered. That's strange. I was waiting for some kind of interference, even with the finish of the match. He never once interfered. The one, oh my God, moment, Jim Ross, he can come up with the one-liners. Holy cow! The camera is, as much as the camera's been focused on the fans in the arena a lot. The camera was at one moment right in Kevin Sullivan's face. And Jim Ross says, "There's the Jim Jones of wrestling." Oh my God, that's an unbelievable comparison. Jim Jones was the religious cult leader that caused several hundred or 1,000 people in Guyana in Africa to a religious cult. They all committed. He talked them all into committing suicide, but he was a religious cult leader in I think late 1970s. I think I'm not exactly sure what year it was, but that's never before. I never heard anyone make a comparison to Kevin Sullivan or even a religious. I had to figure out which Jim Jones he's talking about. I'm thinking he's talking about Jim Baker. No, Jim Jones, the religious cult leader. And Kevin Sullivan's face was so stone, not the drug. So statue that he scarcely even said anything. He made no attacks whatsoever. He just watched the match, and that's unusual for any heel manager whatsoever. Even for a babyface manager, the only manager I've ever seen not interfere would be Elizabeth. Randy Macho Man Savage's wife. Can you name a manager that has not ever interfered with a good guy or bad guy? Kevin Sullivan did not interfere. That's shocking. It's shocking. He let these guys wrestle, and it was a good wrestling match. But eventually the Fantastics had a hard time tagging back. They had no as much. Steve Williams and Mike Rotundo honestly controlled this match. They really did. As much as the Fantastics are, the smaller, younger, or more fast paced. First at the beginning of the match, Mike Rotundo, he was the crowd was yelling Syracuse sucks. He did it before. I think Stark '88. He did not want to even wrestle. He was ticked off, telling referee Teddy Long that the fans are messing with my mind. I don't want to hear this crap from the fans. But Mike Rotundo, Steve Williams are they don't need to be a heel team. I've said this before. They don't need to be a heel team. They are great. They're great college athletes, great college wrestlers. They didn't need to be a heel team with their managed by Kevin Sullivan, but they very much dominated this match, and they defeated the Fantastics. Next match tonight is all in all parties would call it. A warm-up match, another one. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Bob Bradley, and in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, he would later be known as Boo Bradley. But Ricky Steamboat said he did not have to wrestle tonight, but he also had a confrontation with Ric Flair tonight, just a little while before this match, where Ric Flair wanted to show off he is Nature Boy Ric Flair, and he can do anything he wants when he wants. He had all these women join him in the ring, and he tells Ricky Steamboat that don't you get sick and tired of the family going home and you can have all this? And Steamboat replies, "No, I despise everything you stand for," and starts smacking Flair around and ripping his entire suit off. But Ricky Steamboat has a warm-up match, sort of, so to speak, with Bob Bradley, and it starts off with an interesting shove between the two. Even Bob Bradley, he was saying like, "Why are you bringing your family to the ring?" And it's like he kept pointing to them. His wife, Ricky Steamboat's wife Bonnie was holding their young son Richie Steamboat Jr. and dressed up in a red. The Karate Kid outfit. I forget the name of it now. The dojo outfit. And Bonnie was holding the child, and Bob Bradley was pointing to them. But the two of them, Bradley and Steamboat, were shoving each other back and forth. That was actually interesting. It's just to start off the match, but honestly, Ricky Steamboat is a guy who can go 30 minutes like it's 1 minute. Ricky Steamboat, like Ric Flair and many others, are hour-long wrestlers, and 30 minutes would for Bob Bradley might as be as an hour, because no match whatsoever. 6 minutes, I believe it was, and Ricky Steamboat comes off the top rope with a high cross body block and pins Bob Bradley. It was Ricky Steamboat called it a warm-up match. He didn't have to wrestle, but honing his skills, and Ricky Steamboat wins this match with ease. Next match tonight is current NWA TV champion Rick Steiner, and he's gonna be going against Rip Morgan. And Rip Morgan, similar to Jack Victory, not in looks, but Jack Victory, who is the New Zealand sheepherder flag bearer. That's how I remember Rip Morgan more from. Rip Morgan did a lot of. He carried the New Zealand flag bearer for sheepherders a lot. That's where I remember him from. Probably did a lot of mask work, wearing masks and stuff like that. But one thing that Rip Morgan really reminded me of, he's like a smaller version of Bruiser Brody. So maybe it's the hair and beard, and the look of the body. But then he started stomping his legs, stomping his feet on the mat. That reminds me of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the way Jim Duggan used to be. Rip Morgan is, he's kind of a wildish brawler, but so is Rick Steiner. And Rick Steiner, I don't know why they ever had him act like this, like when Mike Rotundo was calling him stupid or like a mental case. I don't know. I never liked that kind of image on Rick Steiner. He was great when he was No, I remember when he he teamed up with in the UWF Mid South with Eddie Gilbert and Sting, and when they were breaking Sting in, and Rick Steiner eventually brought tag team with his brother Scott, and I really love the Steiner brothers. But Rick Steiner by himself, I think he's better off tag teaming as a tag team wrestler. But Rick Steiner, in his own right, is a great wrestler, just like Magnum and Jim Ross kept saying. He's a great wrestler out of the University of Michigan. And match concluded for pretty fast, but for a wrestler versus kind of a brawler-looking guy, Rip Morgan grabbed Rick Steiner into an attempted bear hug, but it only lasted like 1 or 2 seconds. Where Rick Steiner then countered him with a belly-to-belly suplex, and quickly into that match with a 1-2-3. And I remember originally that Rick Steiner said that he's using the belly-to-belly suplex, and Magnum says that used to be my finishing move when I was a wrestler. And I remember Rick Steiner saying, "I used to be yours." It's when wrestlers admit to each other, I'm using your move when you used to be a wrestler. But it was a quick match, and it's just I remember Rip Morgan. Just like Bob Bradley, these are just quick matches for a live broadcast for Clash of the Champion. Rick Steiner defeating Rip Morgan with a countering a bear hug into a belly-to-belly suplex. Rick Steiner remains TV champion. Okay, we end Clash of the Champions 5 with what I consider an absolutely boring show except for one match, the United States Tag Team Title match. I reviewed earlier. Varsity Club and the Fantastics. Other than that, we ended up with a 6-man tag team championship impromptu. This was just a wild brawl. What had happened, it was originally going to be the Road Warriors and their new 6-man tag team title partner, Tenru. Now that Jim Ross keeps referring to the new name Japanese popular wrestler named Tenru. His full name is Genichiro Tenru. I know that I followed Japanese wrestling when I was a teenager, and Genichiro Tenru, and he was a major name. I remember a lot of major names from the 80s and 90s of Japanese wrestlers. I remember Genichiro Tenru, Ken Kabashi. They had great matches. They were similar to a Steamboat Flair. Oh my god, I remember so many of the Japanese names. But since Road Warriors were so popular in Japan, they picked Tenru, and they kept referring to the last name Tenru as part of the 6-man tag team title partner. They were supposed to face the combination of Sting, Junkyard Dog, and Michael Hayes. Now, Michael Hayes, they had a Bob Caudle interview, and Michael Hayes kept saying, "I know how to beat you guys. I'm an expert in 6-man tag matches. I've beaten you once, I could beat you before." Thing was, the Freebirds had faced the Road Warriors back in the AWA and back in the 85-86 time period. They faced them in 6-man and 3-on-3, 2-on-2. So Michael Hayes is an expert. He would be an expert with the Road Warriors. It was Junkyard Dog, Sting, and Michael Hayes to take on Tenru and the Road Warriors for the 6-man title. And just as they apparently went into their dressing room, which was downstairs apparently in an arena, Kevin Sullivan takes a chain lock and padlock and chains the entrance to the you think it's a basement rather than a dressing room. He chain locks this cage fence entrance to the dressing room basement. He's telling Bob Caudle and finally Kevin Sullivan did some interference by laughing. Like it was Kevin Sullivan's idea. That way, him and the Varsity Club, Steve Williams and Mike Rotano, they could take on the Road Warriors and Tenru. It's never announced as the Varsity Club could face them in a title match, but apparently it does so, and the match begins. The match is the match in the ring. I never heard an official announcement. It's Tenru and the Road Warriors versus Kevin Sullivan, Mike Rotundo, and Steve Williams Varsity Club. Now, with the referee Tommy Young does put the title belts up in the air, saying, I guess it's signifying it is a title match. And they were wrestling the 6-man title, the 3-on-3 match, but the camera kept going back and forth, Bob Caudle, and I don't know who was trying to unlock or using keys, trying to figure out how to unlock this this padlock chain. That you could see Sting, Michael Hayes, and Junker Dog, trying to, they let us out of this. Let us. It's all they're chain locked fence, chain locked caged and they can't get into the match area, into the ringside area. And the camera kept going back and forth the match, and they kept going back and forth as Doug Dillinger, the longtime NWA security for Jim Crockett Promotions 2, he kept trying to use a key, and about probably between the third and fifth time the camera went back, finally he uses a bolt cutter. They claim that the arena maintenance handed him a bolt cutter, and finally they cut the chain. It took a while for Hayes, Sting, and Junkyard Dog to get to the ring. Eventually, and then it comes to the point where it's a Hawk had tagged out Animals in the Ring the most, and he was going to tag out the Hawk. Referee Tom Young didn't see it. Hawk is pushed back outside the ring by the referee. Sullivan, Williams, and Rotundo do a spike pile driver, a 2 or 3 man. They hold Road Warrior Animal into a spike pile driver. It barely even gets dropped. They drop Animal just barely when Sting, Michael Hayes, and Junkyard Dog finally charge the ring. All hell breaks loose. I love how Magnum TA call it. It's a battle royal. It's a massacre. It was a wild brawl. And then Jim Ross says, everybody's kicking everybody's butt. And eventually you see referee Tommy Young throwing his hands around, and Wikipedia lists as a no contest. It's double disqualification. They really don't announce, but it's an out-of-control brawl. And referee Tommy Young's throwing his arms back and forth. Ring the bell. The match is over. I guess both sides are disqualified, or it's a no contest because 3 more men enter the ring for a big brawl. So whatever the Clash of Champions 5 ends with a 9-man all-out control brawl. And this, you had to end a honest to God boring show in Cleveland, Ohio, Clash of Champions 5 with a no contest, out of control 9-man brawl. If you like this video, please subscribe, comment, like or dislike, and thank you for watching.